Hi all, this is Skate, and welcome back to another Do's and Don'ts guide. Today I'm going to be having a look at the Tier 7 Premium Tank Destroyer, the su-122-44. This, in my opinion, is not your conventional tank destroyer, and as a result, you shouldn't play it like a conventional tank destroyer. That being said, if you drive in head first, you'll probably find you'll die very quickly as well. Or, you're going to take a whack of damage before being able to dish out a proportionate amount yourself. Endgame, basically, I'm going to show you in this guide how I play the tank, and hopefully that'll help. Now, I got asked not too long ago if I would do this guide, and I haven't played this tank in a long time. I'm a massive E25 fan, if you didn't know. So as a result, I thought, hey, let's give this a go. I haven't played it in a while. I forgot just how good this tank is. I've been playing it for the last few days, and I've literally loved playing it. What it has reminded me, though, is that if you, as I said, don't manipulate the armour in the way you need to, the armour's actually really bad, and it will get penned an awful lot. But if you manipulate it the correct way, you'll find it's very, very troll. So if we make our way to the garage, let's get crack-a-lacking with the basics. So, first thing I want to point out, and it does seem very obvious, but you'd be surprised how much it's overlooked. It's called the su-122-44. As such, it's effectively a medium tank chassis. It's very, very mobile, and my personal opinion is play it like a medium tank. I say that in the aspect of, this thing is deadly once you get it on the flank. As soon as you get the backs or the sides of any of the tanks, they are literally done for by the time they can address you. As I already mentioned, I have really enjoyed playing this, so I have played a truck ton of games in it over the last few days, and I have recorded literally every single one. As a result, I actually struggled to decide which recordings to put in this video. I got a couple of 5k damage games over the last couple of days, and I was going to put them in this video, and I decided not to on the basis of, I think I just got lucky with my teams, and as a result, it doesn't really give a true example of how to play the tank. Instead, the recordings that I decided to go with were Mastery in a Tier 8 game. It's actually quite low damage for a Mastery, but I think it's because I was the one spotting at the same time. And the other game I've got in here for you is a Raseiniai medal game. Watching these two games, I think, give the best example of how to use the armour correctly, and the best way to deal with this tank. So, first thing up we want to look at is camo. You do need camo, it's a tank destroyer at the end of the day. Pick which one ever floats your boat, but it's definitely something I'd say is worthwhile. Provisions, myself, I run improved fuel, and I run both the provisions to help with crew skills, which would be the extra combat rations and the powdered milk. On an ammunition front, I would actually say make sure you carry a healthy supply of HE on this. I myself go 19, 8 and 8. And on an equipment front, I go with the gun rammer, the vents and the gun lane drive. You can go camo with it being a tank destroyer. I personally would not recommend that on the basis if you don't really want to be playing it like a conventional tank destroyer. It does have good camo values, as standard anyway, but obviously improve it with your camouflage. Don't worry about a camo net. Use the equipment to improve the god-awful gun accuracy. The other thing is with this setup, it brings the reload down from 9.9 seconds to 8.2 seconds. That's actually a significant difference. Here's the key to this tank though, the armour. On the front, the armour is actually 90mm thick, and on the side of the tank it's 75mm thick. So it's not the greatest, but the advantage this tank does have going for it is the sloping on it. It's very, very heavily sloped. In this example, I am shooting at the 122 from an IS-122 gun, which ironically is pretty much the same thing. But being as you run into a hell of a lot of IS range tanks, I thought it would be a suitable choice. So to use this tank correctly, in my opinion, it is all about the armour and all about the armour angle. At this sort of angle here, the front is pretty much still mostly easily penned, the side is an auto bounce. The gun mantlet you never need to worry about. It's very hard to penetrate it. If anyone does ever penetrate it, it's probably a lucky shot. Another key thing is the gun mantlet is not central to the tank, it's actually to the right a little bit, which means there's more of the tank exposed on the left hand side, which means you can easily pen the left hand side unless you try to cover it up using the gun mantlet. The other very key thing is it doesn't have good gun depression, but look at the difference on the armour. It's only a 50% chance of going through when you're looking at the tank head on using the maximum gun depression. The reason for that, quite simply, is we are sloping the tank much more. Now here's the very key thing in my opinion, and it's quite hard to explain, but this angle right now on the screen is the angle you want to be shot at, basically. So if you want someone to shoot at you, this is the angle you need to be at to pretty much auto bounce it. Now this is where it's pretty much counterintuitive to what you're used to. Forget about your lower plate. Your standard muscle memory for playing the game is usually protect my lower plate, and it's also don't go at an angle in which you can't use your gun depression. Forget about that as well. When someone's shooting at you, you need to be like this. It's the same sort of thing if you're caught out in the open. Your standard logic is go hide behind something, hide your lower plate. With this, no. What you need to be doing is if somebody's about to shoot at you, don't reverse back because you reduce the sloping on your armour. What you need to do is push forward. As you push forward on a dune, for example, it'll heavily increase the armour angle. As a result, it'll pretty much make the entire tank an auto bounce. The tank is so mobile then that as soon as they've taken their shot, you get yourself in a very quick position to shoot back, and then you just keep ploughing shots like that then. As you can see from this sort of angle as well, I'm not turned slightly at all. I was just facing there, and you're still massively reducing the chance of penetration. It's actually surprisingly hard to explain that properly, so I apologise if I'm not making any sense, but here is an example of it actually on the battlefield. This is using exactly the same tanks as per the Armour Inspector, so the SU and the IS. You'll notice I'm coming over a hill in a way I can't use my gun depression. But because I know the IS has shot, I can now go straight in head first. So I want to show you first an example of how to angle it when you're brawling. Note I'm a one shot and the IS is on full health. The key is I come in at a left hand side angle, using that monster mantlet to cover up as much of the left hand side as I can of the tank. You'll also notice I am angling left as much as possible and wiggling, which pretty much means the IS can't get a full shot on me. And as you can see, IS has already bounced once, trying to wiggle the turret even though I'm not aiming for the turret. And this one's going to do the same as well. It's just going to bounce off the mantlet because of the wiggling back and forth. And like I said, it protects and covers the majority of the left hand side. Here is the same sort of perspective as what I was explaining in Armour Inspector. I can't shoot the IS from where I am right now, but this sort of angle, I'm aiming left, covering the weak spots, and I'm increasing the armour angles quite heavily, so it bounces straight off me. The next one does exactly the same as well, so as long as you're wiggling up and down, and you're doing it at this angle, you will bounce so much. Always go left though, don't try and aim right because you open up that massive weak spot, as within this scenario the mantlet covers up as much as possible. So, I hope that gives some perspective on the armour. Here's a couple of do's and don'ts for you.
Peace.
Okay, so I've been asked if I will do a bit of commentary on one of the mastery plays at the end of the guides, which is what I will do here. Before I do, I just have to quickly say I absolutely have no idea how the last game was a mastery. It was good, high XP, yet the damage was very low. As I said, I've had 5k masteries in this, so I know the limit's quite high, but yet that one was a mastery, so I thought I'd put it in because it was an interesting one. But, onto this match. Obviously it's mines. I think the first priority as a tank destroyer is to get up by here and get some shots in and some long range cover fire. You'll notice I go up the rocks a bit. You actually get a better shot up onto the hill by going by here, as you could see by the Type 59 ammo rack earlier on in this video. Now, although my personal recommendation is not to use this tank as a sniper for too long, it can pull it off, but I would actually say don't snipe for too long, but at the start of the match maybe snipe for a little bit, then go guns blazing. In this match though, I probably snipe a little bit too long. It's not camping, it's sniping. Tactical positioning, there we go. I haven't actually had a good clear shot on anything yet, so it's a very slow start to this match for me, but I do start getting some good covering fire in now. Now, although it has got fairly bad gun dispersion, if you let it fully aim, you do actually manage to pull off some cracking shots. Also, just to point out, if I wasn't on this rock here, I wouldn't have been at a level where I could actually shoot this Panther, which is another good reason why I say go up here rather than around the rocks like most people do. Now, the other thing I mentioned earlier in this video is load a sufficient amount of HE. You'd be surprised how useful it is in this tank. It's actually very, very good. Now, no, couldn't get that J-Panther, he's gone, but take a clutch shot, well, I say clutch shot, take a blind shot just in case. Here's the example I wanted to show you about the HE. There's no point wasting a chance and it might bounce off his turret. As a result, go for the HE in that scenario. So we got 3 good shots into the Panther, and we're trying to take a shot at the Tiger now and completely dunk that shot. We are down 2 so far in this match, and they are down 1. At this point in the game, you may say we're losing by 3 already, and as a result, I've been camping too long. I would not say that's the case on the basis of we have greens right in front on low health. As a result, they're effectively bait for these 2 tanks which are desperate to come out and get the kill. SP1C and that Tiger, when he came out, are 2 perfect examples of that. Now, I know that Tiger is still up there, so I do attempt 2 blind shots on the basis of I only need 1 more shot to kill him, and as a result I think if I can get the shot in now while I'm at range, I can then keep my health to go guns blazing. Sadly though, I don't get it. At this point in time, they have 5 left, and we have myself and 2 heavy tanks left. The heavy tanks, if you look at the mini-map, are still in the spawn. So it's at that point in time I decide I need to make a move, which is when the KV-1S decides to pop out and give me a shot inside. There's 1 bounce off my mantlet, and there's another one, and there's another one. The Tiger does screw up by here and comes straight out right in front of my gun, so I'm not going to say no to an easy kill on that scenario, but he does manage to take a little bit of my health with him. And then obviously we know we have a light tank on the enemy team up by there, very low health. Again, no point worrying about anything other than firing HE at him. You don't even have to aim, just shoot it in his general direction. It's pretty much the approach I tried to take in this, with pretty much any tank on low health. Don't bother wasting my time aiming for weak shots, just fire a HE straight into them. Should have no problems then. I don't know where this VK has been for the entire match, but he was pretty much on full health then. The other thing I think worth noting is you'll notice a lot of times in this video I won't wait for the aiming cycle to fully go in and be fully aimed if I'm at close range. There's no point wasting your time, just fire at the tank. Occasionally you will bounce, more often than not you will get through, and as a result you save that little bit of time, which could be a difference between taking a shot or not. Now, as you'll see there, I just very nicely asked if I could have the last kill because I noticed I am on 6, and let's be fair, everybody loves the Raseiniai. I do get a shot into the J-Panther, and KV3 either doesn't speak English or doesn't like me, but thankfully he missed his shot, which gives me this very short opportunity to try and kill him. He don't need to be fully aimed, he's pretty much all in the aiming circle anyway, so I get myself a Raseiniai with 7 kills. Always happy to receive a 7-kill game, very pleased with that. So that game was a mastery, Top Gun and Raseiniai with 4,239 damage. and obviously it is a premium tank, which means I made 80 net, which I'm very happy with actually. That game, obviously I did that 4,200, as you can see. None of my team did over 1,000. I did take a screenshot then, obviously I was very pleased with that. And that's everything for this video. I hope you enjoyed watching. I hope you found some of the information useful. I will continue to put up tank reviews and guides and everything else tank related as often as I can. If you're not subscribed, please do so. And I promise you the best content I can make. Obviously, any comments you would like to leave, I always read them all. Obviously, thank you for your time as well. Bye bye.